So right now I am currently weighing the heaviest that I have ever been, but that wasn't necessarily the plan this year.
So I'm going to drop a couple of kilos in the next couple of months just to kind of be at a better place for this.
But sometimes the best laid plans need updating. In the past, I've always tried to remain light because being big, being lighter made it easy bodyweight skills. In fact, I want to cut weight to achieve the one-arm chin-up for the first time. The closest sport that we can compare this to is gymnast, and over the years it has tended towards getting smaller, lighter, and leaner. But I'm no gymnast, and if I was to plot myself on this graph, I'd be way up on the other side. It's actually just in general in sports, people have got heavier, have got more muscle. You just look at rugby versus the 1960s versus now. But even when we look at gymnasts, they're probably basically at their anatomical limit in terms of muscle mass for the sport they're in. And I think trying to more embrace gaining weight is not a blanket statement in a bad way, but muscle in the right areas should make you stronger. Ultimately, a bigger muscle is a stronger muscle. At the beginning of the series, I did take some recordings, some measurements to kind of assess where that weight gain would end up. So 6 months later, halfway through this year, may as well compare and see where things are at.
So 4.5, 5 kilos in 6 months is for me the kind of Goldilocks range. It's not too much, it's not too little. I tend to aim for around 1 kilo per month at maximum when lean bulking. I also just want to mention that the lighting originally in this video is terrible. Kind of the reason that I chose it because I wanted it to be fair, realistic, but if I was to compare against like me, even with that 5 or 6 extra kilos, but just with good lighting, the comparison is just a little bit unfair. So, something to watch out for when you see before and afters on the internet. There's definitely some noticeable increases along sort of the chest, and I'm also pretty happy there's been a decrease in waist. I don't think I've lost any fat, but I certainly haven't gained any whilst gaining this weight. The only real takeaway I have from these measurements is that I just need to train arms more. I actually think that might be a genuinely big weakness. So there's nothing crazy. It's not a crazy transformation, but there has been some good steady improvement. I think it's important to recognize that because I know a lot of friends I speak to, they have this general apathy to like the things that they're pursuing and doing because it's maybe not as crazy as like the transformations you see on social media or just with the general chaos in the world right now. It can seem that the things you're doing pointless or insignificant. And the hard thing is there's probably some truth to that. Like, does adding 4 centimeters to my chest really have an impact on my life? The answer would be no. 4 centimeters to the bicep though, definitely, that would be nice. I think that investing the time and energy into yourself, improving the lives of your friends, family, the people around you is just a much better return on investment than spending time arguing the things you're being told about that ultimately have no control over and really no impact on the outcome. There's probably some stoicism quote I could pull up that would have relevance here, even a couple of thousand years later. With all that being said, let's see if my fat ass at 6 kilos heavier can actually still perform. Got an upper body session, we're gonna test handstand and push-ups. As always, you can find my current training program available in the link down below as a PDF to download and check out and try, as well as a discount code for my shoe of choice, and that's by the lovely folks over at Vivo Barefoot. So if you wanna grab yourself a pair, get more feeling in your feet, use that, support the channel. Otherwise, let's jump into some training. At the end of 2024, I was probably the strongest I've been with bent arm pushing. I had the 5-rep handstand push-up for the first time, but at the start of the series, I had that slight wrist issue that led to a shoulder issue, and I had that weight gain. It just made me feel slow and sluggish, and it's really been up until now to feel strong and move well again. This did translate into actually hitting the 5-rep mark again on the handstand push-ups, but now 6 kilos heavier, so I guess that's an improvement of strength of sorts. I would attribute some of this down to that daily isometric work. Found some surprisingly good improvements there. If you want the details for that, go back and watch the last episode. But apart from that, really the training has stayed mostly the same. I do like to change up my training, but at the end of the day, if you're seeing progress, if you're seeing improvements, you don't need to change something that's not broken. Being a coach and sort of mastering a practice is really about selecting the right drill at the right time, and it's just a balance between consistency and variability. Sadly, it's been the right drill at the wrong time for legs. I was trying to wave load over this last period and basically just trying to maximize the amount of weight I could put on the bar, and that just wasn't the correct point in time. I need more time building the structure to support that weight, so ultimately just ended up with me having some kind of sore knees. So I've just stepped things back off a little bit, focusing on improving structural change, so muscle mass, some of those connective tissues, and just getting used to more load, kind of taking more of a conjugate approach. And this is when you'd have like only 20% of the volume of your training session on the main lift itself going heavy. 80% of it is on that accessory work, working on weak points and getting some pumpy sets going. Part of that has been the addition of Nordics. Again, I had these years ago when I was squatting, my legs felt good. I kind of haven't added them in because I was just focused on the squats, but we're chucking them back in now because I think the hamstrings posterior chain could do with some love. So I've stuck with a glute hamstring raise simply because it's an easier variation than the Nordics, and I'll progress to some Nordics after a little bit of conditioning. Some good, some bad, some ugly. It's just some pretty steady progression, and most importantly, I'm enjoying it and I'm feeling good, which should definitely be the basis of all training. I'd love to pass this on to you. How's your 2025 going? I did ask at the beginning of the year what your goals were. A bunch of people commented down below, so I'd love to hear, like, 6 months on, how are you getting on with your vision? Are you sticking to it? Are you sticking by your values? Are you improving yourself? Let me know. And other than that, any questions you have, I am always happy to address them in these videos, so please let me know in the comment section down below. Other than that, I'll catch you in the next one. Have a strong week.